All I'm saying is one planet is algorithms, jets, and follower counts. The other planet, well, that's lunch breaks, gas prices, and hoping the AC gets us all the way through the summer now, isn't it? And I'm not even picking on these kids. If you've not been paying attention, these Disney kids are leaving Disney and going to OnlyFans, which is like Disney 18 plus now. I mean, not my fault. That's what's happening. And they're making a lot of money. A lot of money. One said just the other day she made $3 million on day one. Now, it's a very, very, very short list of things I won't do for $3 million on day one. In fact, I got to think through real hard what it would be. I'm not sure there's much on that list. Think about that. You do that in your own head. $3 million one day, I got to do what? Now, the problem is the internet's forever, though, isn't it? Thereby the lesson. However, I am not bagging on that hustle. I don't care. I don't have a dog in that fight. One of them said she made $101 million. And I thought to myself, me and you ain't the same. Not mad at the money. I respect the grind, like I said. But I'm just a normal dummy. I got normal people, dummy logic, right? And I got to tell you, if I make $100 million, first thing I do is put my damn clothes on. Then I disappear somewhere where they ain't even got Wi-Fi. That's the first thing I'm going to do with $100 million. Because at this point, you're not a creator anymore. You're a myth. So the headline in this article says she's on her private jet refreshing her earnings while the Wi-Fi is spinning. If I'm on a private jet and my internet stops working, that's not a tech problem. That's our Heavenly Father tapping on the window going, hey, look out here. You won. You got to shut the Wi-Fi off when you got $100 million. How much money do you need? You don't need to refresh stats on a page at $100 million. You refresh your location. You just disappear. It's not income. That's a complete exit strategy. $100 million. I can't even think in those terms. I don't know. At one point in my life, I made a considerably decent amount of money, nothing crazy. And at one point, I just ran out of things to buy, so I just kept the money. It was weird. $100 million, that's not a game changer. That's generations and multiple generations beyond that. I realize the internet's forever, but I also realize there's some place in some remote world that you could go find to hang out if it bothered you that badly. And if it bothered you that badly, well, maybe you shouldn't have done it. But the whole world has all of a sudden started acting like this is all normal, and it ain't. I mean, you make $100 million, then you keep posting. Is that what you do? Because that's not what I do. That's like replacing a transmission on a brand new car because you were bored. I don't understand that mentality. I don't understand the logic. It's like clocking in at work after you own the building. That's like winning the lottery and saying, I'll be in tomorrow morning at 8 because I don't want to fall behind. What? At $100 million? You don't explain anything anymore. She on here showing her receipts. Look, I made this much money. I ain't posting that, not with that kind of money. I'm posting sunsets on somebody else's account under an assumed name. I'm not showing my followers. No, sir. I done showed up in a place that doesn't have cell service and a dude named Carl that cooks fish and doesn't remember things. That's where I'm at. She's in, what is that, 1.2 something percent? I mean, that's people, you don't probably even know people that have $100 million. I knew a guy one time that had $30 million, and I thought to myself, that's a lot of cheese. That's a lot of cheese. How do you spend that kind of money? I don't know. It's not really a fan base. It's a small economy when you start talking about they're paying you $100 million. And I love that she's like, this is not average for this platform. Most folks only make $150 a month here. You mean they're doing all that? I mean, that's some farm animal stuff that's going on over there, and they're only making $150 a month? Now listen, I said it was a short list of things that I wouldn't do for $3 million in one day. For $150, I'm not doing any of that. So apparently, that's not for me. I'm glad too, because if it wasn't for this article, I was thinking I should probably go ahead and make a go at it. Thank the good Lord for the article. Now, I did think it was super relatable when she said, I'm really nervous because this could all disappear tomorrow. What? What did you just say? They're just numbers, on the page. You get that cash out. If I look on something on the internet and it says I got $100 million, that's not real till someone at the bank says, I have an account with your name, Bud like the beer, Ford like the truck, at Bud Ford Comedy, worth $100 million. When the bank says it's somewhere where I can only get it and they can't, let me tell you what, it ain't disappearing tomorrow. And let me just go ahead and we'll argue this out. Let's say somewhere in the middle of the transfer, you lose 80% of that. You still got $20 million. And we're once again back to a short list of things that I wouldn't do. The money, though, ain't going to fix the anxiety. Did you notice that? She still has problems. Money ain't fixing that. Just buys you nicer furniture, right? $100 million in a bank account, and they do an update on the app, and you just lost. Or like those Bitcoin people who somehow forget their passwords or whatever, numerical whatever. They lost their way into the account, and they lose it. Man, not me. Let's tell you what, I'm from the South. I'm more apt to bury cash in the backyard than I am to put it behind something I'm required to remember a password for. When I think of my safety deposit box, I think, you know what? I could mess around and lose this key. Or what happens if, God forbid, I fall off a ladder and I can't remember who I am or the way to my bank? I mean, that's a problem because it ain't like they're going to get Tracker to come in here like he does on the CBS show and start looking through my stuff. And next thing you know, he's figured out that I'm actually a rich man and not this pauper that's living on the side of the street accused of murder when I didn't murder him on account of my amnesia. I can't remember if I murdered somebody because, I didn't even know that I had the key to wealth. I didn't know none of that. But thank you, Tracker, for making that work. And yes, I'll make a donation to whatever charity you'd like. No, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So what happens is you get $100 million in anything, you disappear. I ain't judging nobody. I respect your hustle. I respect the luck that you've had. I respect the whole ride. I'm just saying, I feel like the rest of us, if we make $100 million, my content isn't going to be online. It's going to be somewhere real quiet with my phone off, my clothes on, and almost nobody knowing where I am. Because money like that does not need a caption. It needs a hammock. For real. Are you kidding me? That kind of money's ridiculous. I'd love to have that kind of money. Now, I was kidding. I'm not going to do a lot that's going to get me in too much trouble for that kind of money because anybody could have made a run in the 80s from Miami to Cuba, and a couple good runs, you can quit, right? As long as you don't get caught. I do know how to fly planes, but wouldn't do that. You ever notice how, too, over the last couple of weeks, I've even talked about it on this program here. I'm a little bitter. It's raw, and I'm saucy about it. But we don't really own electronics anymore. We just rent them until the company gets bored with us. That's what's happening. That's our entire relationship right now. We're not buying a device. We're buying a seasonal agreement. I found this out like everybody else found it out just the other day, and I've ranted on this. I'm not going to spend long on it, but I have an Apple computer, and I bought two within the same month. I don't think nothing about what kind of chips they got in them. Do you? When was the last time you bought a computer and went, you know what? I wonder what kind of chips in them. Because I didn't know that in 2 short years they were going to switch to a different kind of chip. And then they just told the rest of us, Hey, if you have an Intel Mac, I know your computer still works great. We just wanted to tell you we're emotionally done with it. What? That seems wild to me. Laptop didn't break. Mac still works. Didn't fall in the pool. Didn't catch on fire. You just decided one morning, yeah, we've moved on. That's not tech support. That is a breakup. I know I've been divorced twice. I know what a breakup is. Do you see Tesla? They just did the same thing with their cars. Oh, yeah. They're up and like, you know what? We just decided we're going to punt this Model S and the Model X. Aren't they the vehicles that made electric vehicles cool? Don't we have brands like Polestar, Lucid? These are electric vehicle brands because of the coolness of those two models. But you're like, you know what? Thanks for making electric vehicles cool. Thanks for changing the world. We need a factory now to build robots, so you got to go. It's not right. Imagine buying a car. 6 years later, the company says, sorry, we're not making your kind anymore. We're into humanoid employees. Now, that's a screw-in that nobody saw coming. No one puts that on their bingo card. It's not a recall. That's a career pivot, and unfortunately, you got suckered and stuck in the middle of it. Foul, not cool. Now, did you see what Sony did? You knew it had to come, right? It had to come eventually. Sony's like, listen, just wanted to tell y'all that we're going to punt the PlayStation 4. If you have a PlayStation 4, we're done with it. Thanks for playing. We're finished. Did it stop working? No. No. That's not what happened. We just had a new one. That's the whole economy now. Our stuff doesn't die. It just gets left behind. Same. We used to own things until they physically gave up, right? Remember those days? You buy a clock radio, and that clock radio probably is still in your house. And if it broke, it's because it fell off of the dresser or the end table and the knob broke. But that's okay because you went to one of those flea markets and you just like, I can pick this up for 50 cents and I can replace this with it. And I still have all of the emotions attached to it. And it's probably still in your bedroom. You know what I'm talking about. Until something physically gave up, we were going to keep it. We were going to use it. We were going to replace things if it broke. If something went wrong, we'd replace the cord, take it into the lamp shop, whatever. Not now. We own things until the marketing department stops believing in them. It's a fact. 78, my granddaddy buys a brand new refrigerator. Let me tell you something, that house was torn down just a couple of years back, and I swear to you, that refrigerator was still purring like a kitten. They just don't break. Houses would fall down around appliances. Every 2 years, my iPhone starts acting like, I don't feel appreciated in this relationship. Our devices don't age anymore, they get sunset. Have you heard of this term? It's called sunsetting support. Yeah, they just stop paying attention to the thing you bought. Just sunset your support. And it sounds peaceful. Sure, sounds like they got our laptops and we just walked into the ocean right at the end of the movie. It's not what happened. I had to pay for the whole damn movie. That's not fair at all. Think about what happened to me. I gave you $4,000 for a laptop and an iMac. Now I have 2 boat anchors, and I got to give you at least $4,000 more to replace them. I'm tired of paying full price for it. But I can't very well walk into Apple and go, hey, how long, honestly, do you think this MacBook's going to last? Because they're not going to tell me. You know what they're going to say? It's the same thing when I go into the car dealer. They're going to say, it's very powerful. It's the fastest one we've ever made. Same story, different companies, which is not really an answer. It's more like a horoscope. Y'all need to get your business models. I guess you do have them right. I need to get my business expectations better. thought I owned stuff. Turns out I just have extended access. My software updates come with a tone now. They're not like, woo, here's a feature. Remember when that happened? iPhone would pop up. Woo, you're all excited about the download. Now they're like, we need to talk. Killing your phone, that's what it means. Every update feels like a performance review, don't it? Every time you hit the button, you're like, please still be functional, accept texts and email. If that breaks, though, I'm not going to cry as long as I get my texts. Still going to need to go online, though. Then you hit the update button and you hope. You just hope that you two together are a good fit for the future. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a technology hater. That's not what I do. I love technology. I stay on the front of everything. Has anyone seen my iPhone 13? I mean, my 10. You know the one I mean. How about this watch? That's right, first edition. So I guess I really don't stay up. I used to, though, but that was back when ownership meant things. Now it's just a subscription. Think about it. Music, same thing. I have music everywhere. I'm paying $8 a month for. That's just kind of cool, though. I do have every song, like, basically in the world for $9 a month. That's really neat. TV's on subscription. Software's on subscription. Storage, they hit me every month for subscription. $8.99 comes from Toyota every month so I can start my car from my phone. I'm waiting for Toyota to be like, bro, your steering wheel trial's ended. What we gonna do? Right in the middle of the road, I'm stuck on the interstate. Car won't turn. At this point, the only thing I truly own is my charger cord, and that's on probation because they're going to change the shape of the damn hole. Every time they change the shape of the hole. And I'm stuck with charger cords that I don't know what they go to anymore. Y'all aren't innovating nothing either. It's just a bunch of job security for cables. You remember in life when you used to could inherit stuff? Family give you an heirloom watch. Maybe you get some tools. You get some fine furniture, something China. I mean, when you could get good stuff from family when they passed. Now, what am I going to pass on to my kids? Son, here's a discontinued login from a Netflix. It still works, but they don't support it anymore. I love you. I get it. Progress is progress. It's just funny to me that I live in a world where some of the most expensive stuff I buy, cars, video game systems, computers, I don't really own them. They're not really mine. They're just mine for now. So again, I got to adjust my mindset. I got to stop saying I own this. I need to rephrase and say, I'm in a long-term relationship with it. And like all modern relationships, it's going great. Until one day, when it updates itself and it tells me we should see other people. I ain't making any of that up either. It's all the God's honest truth. I don't know if you go to Costco too much. I don't go over there a whole lot, but I do go over there some. Saw a headline the other day that absolutely made me laugh out loud. Costco $5 rotisserie chicken is getting sued because it's not preservative free. That's the headline, and that's fact. I saw that. I stopped, dumbfounded. You mean to tell me we thought this was a farm-to-table experience? We got to be honest with each other. If you walk into a building the size of an airport and a fully cooked, hot, glowing, golden chicken is sitting there for $4.99, let me go ahead and tell you that chicken has seen some things. That's not a bird. That's a corporate achievement. I love how shocked we are, too. Excuse me? I assumed that this $5 miracle was raised by a small family in the mountains with a lot of love and personal petting. I bet it was named, whispered affirmations in its ears. No, ma'am. That chicken was engineered in a lab. Never even seen dirt. You ain't gonna get a chicken that juicy, that shiny, and that affordable without a team of people in white coats and a lab and a whiteboard. Bird didn't grow up, yo, it was developed. You should know better. And don't get me wrong, I love the Costco chicken. I ain't trying to be a hater. This thing's got me through breakups, moves, and at least 3 months where I pretended I was meal prepping. It's also the backbone. The $4.99 Costco chicken is the backbone of half of America's refrigerator. You buy it for dinner, then it becomes lunch, then it becomes soup, then it becomes that mystery meat in the back that you're scared to open. It's really not food, it's a lifestyle. But have you noticed how we draw the line so quickly now? We're like, listen, I appreciate what you've done, Costco, but I'm not all about no preservatives in my $5 bird. Ma'am, that chicken has its own parking lot. It sits under the heat lamps like its own display at a museum. It's not a warning sign, it's a victory lap. And I love the lawsuit language. If you read this article, it's hysterical. They say customers were unable to make an informed decision. That's lawyer talk. Let me help you make the decision. If you want chicken that lived peaceful, preservative-free lifestyle, got to go some places to see part of the world, you got to go somewhere where there's dirt on the floor and a guy named Earl who hands it to you in a paper bag. If you're at Costco, you're not shopping, you're participating in an economic event. Those are different things. I mean, Costco doesn't even want to make money on the chicken. They're losing money on the chicken just to get you inside. It's not a product, it's a lure. Yeah, that chicken is the gateway drug to a $400 cart. You walked in for a bird, you left with a kayak, a TV, and a 55-gallon drum of peanut butter. And the whole time, the chicken's just sitting there like, look what I did. Now we all like, you know what? We're pretty health conscious, and I do not want additives. Ma'am, you are standing in a warehouse where you can buy a gallon of ranch dressing. Let's not act like we're on a spiritual journey. This was dinner. And honestly, I respect the chicken because in today's economy, $5 don't get you nowhere. You ain't getting nothing for $5, but it gets you a hot meal, leftovers, and a sense of stability. That bird is out here doing more for American families than half of Congress. So yeah, maybe it's not preservative free, but for $5, I'm not looking for purity. I'm looking for reliability. Because at the end of the day, I don't need that chicken to be natural. I need it to be there. I need to open the fridge at 11:47 at night and see its shiny skin while I'm standing in my kitchen naked in the dark, wondering how my life got here. And that chicken's like, I got you, boo. Thank you, Costco. Thank you for spending time with me today. I'm at Bud Ford Comedy. I'm Bud like the beer, Ford like the truck. Hopefully I made you smile.